What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So, welcome to Friday's episode. So, if you have not done so already, please go back, tune in to this week. So, on Monday, we talk about how terrifying hacks on critical infrastructure have arrived. It's kind of I forget what you call it, but it's clickbait. They've been here. We've been talking about it. Like, and it is terrifying. So, but definitely check that one out. Then on Tuesday, we talk about how the U.S. Nuclear Research Lab in Idaho had a data breach that impacted 45,000 people, which that's a lot of people, regardless of how big your organization is. And these people are adjacent to or work with Department of Energy and the nuclear laboratory. So definitely tune in for that one. Then Wednesday, we talk about the mother-daughter duel, how they wrote the book, The ABCs of Cybersecurity, right? They've written several books in the series of the ABCs, but then they've collaborated with the White House as well as Blacks in Cyber and Afrotech to build a book that represents, people of color within this space. I think it's super cool. I can't wait for it to hit shelves so I can share it with my youngest, and then Shannon over there. Shannon love the kids. He's gonna buy a pallet of these books, hand them out throughout the neighborhood.
I'm not like Martin. Shannon don't love the kids like.
But yeah, it's a very very cool effort going on, as well as, like, that's what the podcast is about. So definitely excited about this new media product, and how to impact younger generations of potential cybersecurity peoples, right? Like, we all have different jobs. Like, cybersecurity is super broad, so uh, you know, like, hopefully this will open up people's eyes to cybersecurity and as a profession, what they could be doing, and just cyber hygiene in general, right? So, like, Shannon discussed how he's teaching the troop. Like, what does the cyber badge look like for Girl Scouts?
I'd have to. They haven't gotten it yet. I'd have to look at it when they get it. But yeah, I don't know. It'll probably just have like a computer on it or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I
Yeah.
wanted to be I wanted to be a person in a black hoodie.
I don't know if you want to put that on a girl.
Like
Like you
me
put
right
that on a
now.
little blue
But
vest.
what you can't see is it says bills, though. Like, because
Okay.
the camera, and then it's just black on black. Even the hood has the bills. I don't know, you can't see it really well, but it says bills, black on black hoodie, represent my team. Um
As soon as you pulled that up, the NSA took notice. I'm just putting that. I just want you
oh yeah, so I put on
to know.
the
As soon as
black
you put
hoodie.
the hoodie on, it's like, whoop,
AI is like hacker.
yeah,
Like, it
got
just
it,
flashes on the
man.
screen with a
Mr.
circle with a line through it.
Mr. Robot over here.
But yeah, Shamir got this for me. I can't remember if it was Christmas or birthday or whatever, but I rarely ever wear it.
Mm.
So it's like brand new. I usually wear my camo
The camel one's
boots.
the one you usually got. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've seen that
Which
one.
which blows my mind every time I put it on, right? So I rock it the most often because it's bigger and it's baggier. Like, this one is a little bit more fitted. Um, so it's, I don't know. Like, I really like it. I like the design, and it's really warm, but your boys put on a few retirement pounds, right? So it's a little bit tighter than I would like. That's a me problem. I need to work on that.
Ryan, you're gonna get past that. I'm just letting you know. You're gonna get past that. You're gonna be like,
Man, listen, I've been doing the Luther Vandross, rest his soul. Like, I've been creeping up into the early twos, and I've been beating it back down to the 180s. I just I'm on this roller coaster. Like, I want to fit somewhere in the middle. 200 and some change is heavy for me.
look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Big Luther was always the best
He
Luther.
was the best
Big
Luther.
Luther
That's
was
true.
always the
It
best.
resonated better.
Always.
It
If the
resonated better.
world were mine.
Yeah,
I'm telling
long
you.
ago. I can't sing. I'm sorry, people. But yeah, like, so it's a little bit more fitted. So that's why I don't wear it as frequently. But no, I was gonna say about the camo, right? So that's like my favorite hoodie of all time. Every time I wear it, someone thanks me for my service. Everybody can buy it though, and I have a beard. So like, I don't understand the connection. How do they Are they just assuming I'm in the military because it exists? Like, but everybody could buy it when it came out.
That's kind of weird too, because you're in an area where there is military around. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
don't
every
know.
single time I wear it, at least one person thanks me for my service.
Like,
And it throws me off. I say thank you, and now that's, but I'm like, why do you assume I was in the military because of the hoodie? It has the American flag on it too. Um, but I'm like, but everybody could buy it though when it came out. I don't know.
just give them the thank you for your support and keep it moving, man. Like,
Yeah, and I do, and I appreciate it, but I'm just like that is it's always weird to me because of it's a mass produced product. It's not just for the troops, right? So like, but I'd never seen anybody else wear it. Also, like I got it when I was in Turkey, so I don't know if that year it was popular or not. Shamir sent it to me as like I want to say it was birthday present. So when I came back to the States, I don't see anybody with it, right? They usually see the newest iteration of whatever the NFL shop is selling. And they do a really good job. I'm not gonna lie. Like every time I see the sidelines, they be having like the new gear on. I'm like, oh, I kind of want that one. You're doing a good job. Doing a good job, NFL. Because like there's a brown one now. I don't know if you've seen that one. They usually rock that one on Sundays. There's like a like the brown Carhartts type material. I'm like, oh, that one's nice. It's probably like a $200 hoodie. I'm like, ugh. But yeah, yeah, it just popped to my head. I was like, yeah, like last time I wore it because I wore it, I want to say 3 days ago. I was in um I was in Publix. So like Publix is like Publix because you lived in Florida, but Publix is like a Wegmans or a Tops or so wherever you live at.
it's a
What's
grocery
another one?
chain.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
grocery chain. Food Lion,
yeah.
Kroger's, like
Giant Safeway.
yeah,
Yeah,
Winn-Dixie.
yeah.
Who
Yeah.
do you shop at Winn-Dixie when you were down here?
I don't remember when Dixie being down there. I remember it in Tennessee when I used to go to Tennessee.
I've never like I'm not trying to bash them. Anytime I ever go in there, I never could find what I'm looking for. Like it's just built different. It was frustrating. Like they have all the stuff. It's just arranged differently. So and I go there so infrequently, I'm just like, I gotta get out of here. Like take me back to Publix.
Amazon, just give it to me, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. But I don't even know how we got on this tangent, but yeah.
The sweatshirt, the sweatshirt.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
You were
Um
in Publix, yeah.
but
So
yeah, yeah,
I see more of them. I see more of them here though, but like where I'm at in Colorado Springs, like there's 5 military installations here. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing a lot more of the people that are, going to be wearing the camo and the flags
yeah,
like that. So I see it more often here. Not all Bills, right? But like different teams. So
right.
it's maybe I don't know. Maybe just because you don't have as many military installations as I have here. Like it's just not. I see it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'd see a lot of there's a lot of military up here because it's so military. I don't know why I said it like that. Very fancy. Because you can't live in Tampa. Like it's one of the few bases I've been to where the area right outside the gate is the most expensive and pristine, right? Like when I was in Alaska, like not to knock them, but like I was right immediately right outside that gate. It's usually not the the most expensive of property because you're right there, like you're getting a lot of the jet noise. You got it's usually just not as expensive to live right outside the gate. But here in Tampa, that is beachfront property. Like so you leave the gate and it's a mansion, like literally the next house over. So the people who live closest to the gate are usually the people who have the most money down here. So we were pushed further out into the suburbs. So you see a lot of military plates like airborne, retirees. I got the retiree frame around mine out here because we can actually afford to buy a house out here as opposed to like you get a lot for the amount for 3 times what I pay for my house. You can get a lot on Bayshore. No house on it. Just the land. That's how expensive Bayshore is. Like we call it Bayshore and then off Bayshore, like Broadway, off Broadway. Because like you live on Bayshore, it's nothing but mansions. Like you see uh it's beautiful, right? It has the longest contiguous sidewalk in the US. And then attached to it is Davis Island. That's where Jeter lived. That's where Tom Brady lived, right? Like these, it's very expensive on Bayshore and then off Bayshore. And then you have off Bayshore, which is a little bit more reasonable, but still gorgeous houses. So
That's definitely not the norm because usually,
No.
usually the area right around the base is usually the cheapest land, right? Like that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's surprising to hear.
Yeah, we used to often joke that they're going to come take the base. Like typically like like they're trying to bracket because they want the space. Like oh man, the beach on McDill is beautiful, but you can't get to it unless you got a CAC. You can't just drive onto the installation. And it's gorgeous, but you have all of these major commands, right? You got Marsend, SOCCENT, SOCOM. Like it's gonna be very hard to take that property back, right? Because there's so many big names on McDill.
They got real killers there.
Yeah.
like
Like it, like
you
it,
ain't you ain't gonna send Jeeves in the Rolls Royce to go take that land, right? Like that's
right, right. But like right outside though, it's crazy. Like because when I first came down here in 2015, there was some where you could tell like someone bought the land and put a small house on it, something that was moderately or inexpensive. But over the years since 2015, like whenever I do drive down to McDill, which is very infrequent, you start to see a lot of those houses are now knocked down and there's $1 million plus homes on top of it now. You can see the change. Even then it was still nice. It was nice property, it was nice houses, but they're knocking down nice houses to build nicer houses. Like they're just stacking the mansions. It's crazy. But welcome to the cybersecurity podcast, where we talk about nothing cyber related. So that was a long intro, and like some of my favorite podcasts do that, where like the first, like if it's an hour podcast, like the first 30 minutes they don't talk about nothing, and then they get into whatever it is. So it's been like 12 minutes. Shannon, how was your week?
it was good, man. No complaints from me. I didn't take in as much media um as I have been doing in the past. I finished watching that movie Vanguard I was telling you about with Jackie Chan. I hadn't
Oh,
finished it.
okay.
I talked about it last week, and I finished it this week. And it was okay, right? Like I said, I'm just tuning in to see some action. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
See Jackie somehow jump through
Yeah,
a teller slot.
yeah. He ain't doing that no more. He ain't doing that no more.
Right.
But he's still getting it in for him being in his late 60s. You know what I mean? So
I'm surprised he can still move. The man's
yeah,
broken everything,
yeah,
literally.
yeah.
Like, his
He
arthritis must be off the chain.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Like, but at this point, it's like it's name recognition to where you got a lot of young bucks that are trying to be up and coming out
Yeah.
there doing the dang thing. You know what I mean? So, it was okay. It had some action in it. It was all right. I started watching. Well, I watched Jack Reacher. The 3 episodes released. So this kind of upsets me, right? So like we've talked about this before in the past. So when they did the first season of Jack Reacher, on Amazon, they released it all at once, right?
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
Not doing that now. They're not
Right.
doing that now.
Right.
So like they released the first 3 episodes, right? This past week. And then every week you're gonna get one after that. And I'm like,
Yep.
like everybody's just going to this formula, right? Like they want you to keep paying for that membership
Yep.
monthly. You know what I mean? That's how they keep it going. But so I've watched 2 of the 3, and I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed, right? Like,
Really.
so, yeah, I mean, I I know it wasn't a lot of action in the first season, but when it was just like, oh man, like he is getting it. Like this dude's like 6'5", 240. Like you ain't gonna mess with him like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? For the little bit they have in here, like I expect to see a little bit more. And it seems like they're kind of like the dialogue is where they're doing too much explaining to me as the
Hmm.
audience member. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't need a lot of that. You know what I mean? Like I get it. Like go through, do it. Like you don't have to explain everything to me like that. Um, so I don't know. It doesn't seem as good as the first season, but I'm still gonna ride it out, right? Like I'm out of the 3 that are released, I've gotten through 2. My wife actually sat down and watched it with me. So now it's to the point where I can't watch another episode unless she's with me, because then
Right.
so I'm like, I should have started this before you came down. But yeah, so I'll more than likely watch the 3rd episode in the next couple days, and then be good to go. Waiting every week from there on out, right? But if it's not good, then I'll be like, I don't like this. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
why am I doing that? I want to binge it all at once. Um, so yeah, I mean, so for anyone that's seen the first season, I would say still give it a shot, right? Like maybe it's just me to where I'm like, because like when I saw the trailer, like the trailer made it seem like, oh, it was just like rock'em sock'em all the time. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it in this second season, but that's just not the case. But it's early, right? Two episodes into 8 total is what they're doing. So, but I'll keep watching. Every week you'll probably hear me talk about Jack Reacher. I started watching this TV show on Max, and like when I say started watching, like I'm in the first episode and I'm only like 10 minutes in. It's called Bookie. So this guy,
Oh, so I've seen the trailer.
yeah, it's funny in this first 10 minutes, man. Like
Okay.
the name of the first episode is Always Smell the Money. And I'm like, okay, right. I didn't think it was gonna be as literal as it appears to be. So they're
Okay.
bookies, right? And he goes to collect money, and the guy's like, smell this. And the guy smells it. He was like, he definitely did what you would think. Like when someone says, I'll do this and this with it, right? I'll wipe my
Right.
you know what with it. Like that's apparently what this guy did with this money before he paid it to him. And I was like,
It's
and
terrible.
so, and so for the next couple of minutes, like he's handing this money out to people. And they're like, oh, what is that? Like, wow. But yeah, it seems very funny. So I'm gonna continue watching that. Um, that's a few episodes in. And I think that's another one that releases because I've been seeing the trail. I've been seeing the thumbnail for it for a few
Yeah.
weeks now. So I think that's another one that releases every week. Though I don't think they did one dump on
Mm.
for that one, but yeah, man, yeah, it's crazy. So I'll keep watching that one, and that'll probably be one I'll be like, yo, that series is crazy. You know what I mean? But um, yeah. So that was kind of all I took in this week, man. It was kind of busy to where when I would come home, we would go do something, and then by the time I come home, and spend a little time with the kids. They go to bed, I go to bed. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we actually had a snow day, this week, right? So the base closed down, so we worked from home. So didn't take in too much media that day. That's when I should have done it, right? Like been working.
She got it in, yeah, and have it in the background.
Yeah, just have it in the background or whatever, but I didn't. That's what I should have done, but didn't do that. Uh but yeah, that's kind of it for me, man. I so I want to ask this. I didn't watch it, but did you watch the Thursday night game, football game?
Oh, the
Raiders
Chargers
and
and Raiders.
Chargers? Yeah.
Yes, I watched the second half. I didn't watch the first half. So when I tuned
Oh,
in, it was like 42 zip or something like that. I was like, damn.
yes. Yes. I
Then I
was
had to watch it. I had to keep watching.
how do the Raiders put up 63 points? Like, I don't know. No, the Chargers fired their head coach after that, which it was long overdue anyway,
So
right?
I,
Like,
I thought they did it. So the reason I tuned in was the memes. So I was looking through my social media before I went to bed. It was like it said Chargers fire their head coach at halftime. So I was like, what? And it was a joke. But then when I tuned in, I saw why. I was like, oh man. Well, then the next day they did fire him. The
yeah,
GM and the head coach, right?
yeah, yep,
Yeah,
both.
both got to go.
Yeah. And I was just like, at this, you're so late in the season at this point, like just let them ride it out. You know what I mean? Like, but the team obviously gave up on him. I didn't watch the game, right? Because I was like, I don't care about either one of those teams. Like the
Yeah.
Chargers didn't have their starting quarterback because Herbert's out for the year with a broken bone in his finger. And I was like, the Raiders they're doing better than they were under Josh McDaniel, but even then, right, like they weren't that good. But 63 points, I'm like, dang, I kind of wish I would have watched this, like just to see how it went down. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. When they finally did score, I was like, "Gee, thank God for just for for their well-being,
yeah, yeah,
right? At
yeah.
least put something on the board. But then I mean, it still was they're getting beat down by like 50 something points. I was like, this season has been outrageous. It makes
Yeah.
me nervous about today's game, right? I want I don't foresee a blowout like that or anything like that, but like it's just who any given Sunday or any given Thursday in that case, you don't know what's gonna happen anymore.
Dallas is coming to you. You guys are a good team, right? So like they don't do as great against the good teams. Now I say this right, knowing that they just beat the Eagles, right? So for all you Eagles fans that are mad about it, whatever, right? Like y'all, I think the Eagles had an off day more so than it was Dallas. Just took advantage of them, right?
Mm,
But like even after last week, like I heard this stat a few days ago, they were talking about Dallas's strength of schedule. They have the 30th ranked schedule.
mm,
I mean, in the NFL. So I'm like, okay, well, you were beating up on bad teams, right? Like even in your division, like it's crazy because I don't. I'll tell you about him offline. But there was a guy I used to supervise back when we were in Virginia that I still keep up with, right? And he's a Cowboys fan, right?
okay.
I don't want to put his name out there, but like he always comes at me. So last week my Ravens were struggling, you know what I mean? Because we played down to our competition. We were struggling with the Rams. We still put up 37, so whatever. And that's when he decides to hit me up, right? The last time he hit me up before this was when Pittsburgh beat us. I was flying home from vacation.
Mm,
I surprised my grandfather with a visit, right? And so so he hits me up and I'm like, oh, here we go. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And I didn't think they beat the Eagles or whatever, right? But like he starts going in about how great Dallas is. So I gotta put the facts on him. I
right.
start
It's like this.
facts
This is
on him.
our season.
Hey, look, you guys have only won because of this. I was like, in the NFC, you got a whole division that's got nobody above 500 that somebody's winning the
Yeah.
division. Like I was like, you got easier competition because he was like, the AFC is weak, this, that, and the third. I was like, bro, I was like, you crazy. So I started spitting facts at him. Like it got to the point where he started off one of his texts. He was like, bro, chill. Like I was like, you want these facts? I'm gonna give you these facts. You know what I mean? Facts over feelings. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, no. So like he hit me up. Like I said, I'll tell you who it was offline. You'll remember him. But
I was gonna say, is it Mr. Imager?
no, 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 no,
Oh, okay.
no, no,
Like,
no.
that dude introduced me to what a meme was.
Yeah, 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 exactly,
I was like,
exactly.
what are these memes that you speak of?
No, 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 no. It's a different guy
Oh, okay.
From Texas, but
Gotcha.
yeah, but yeah, it was like, bro, chill. And then started talking. I was like, you because he was like, yeah. What did he say? He said something like, "Don't bring up the records" or something. I was like, when you started this conversation, you brought up the records. Like
Right.
I'm using your argument against you, but it's fun. Like it's all in good fun, right? You know what I mean? I keep messing with them. You know what I mean? But I tell you what, when y'all beat Dallas today, I'm gonna reach out to him, be like, oh, where you at?
Yeah,
Where
so
you
we
at?
we we needed like I'm not a Bengals hater, but it felt good to pull them out. Put them you come sit with us
Yeah,
over here in the running. Come sit over here with us. Because there's still a chance. But
yeah,
yeah, our the rest of our season is gonna be rough. So shout out to the refs for the
yeah.
Kansas City games.
Look,
I'll take it.
I'm
I
gonna tell
will
you,
take it.
I'm gonna tell you something. You guys have a great record in December, though. Like I heard this week too. They were talking about Buffalo in December, and like especially when they come to your house, right? Like all the
Right.
weather that they get up there and whatnot. It's like nobody's used to that.
Yeah. And that's why I like playing Miami in
Yeah,
December. Oh, I love it.
yeah.
Hey, because you
drag
get us
drag
you
them
get us
in.
during the summer, right? Like we catch cramps, put us on the hot side of the stadium. Like, oh no, come get this snow. We'll put on the red jersey so we could see.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Be like, hey, we're gonna drag you into this deep water and watch you drown
Hmm.
in all this snow. You know.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love to see it. But so we'll see. We'll see how it goes down. But yeah, we like speaking to playing to the level of your competitors. That seems to be what we've been doing all season as well. Like
yeah.
and then just the if we don't take the lead early on, we just can't save ourselves. Like our defense, like, help me, do something, score a point, something, please.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we play today. I am excited though, because my best friend, he is also from Buffalo, but he came out the womb wearing a Dallas jersey. Like he's been a Cowboys fan since I could. Yeah, he had I remember starter jackets, the bubble coats. Like he always wore something Cowboys. I was just like, but we're from Buffalo. I don't get it. But he's not bandwagon. Like he has always since birth been a Cowboys fan. So
When it's that young though, what's the parents doing, right?
no, Bills fans, they love the Bills.
Oh, really?
We don't know his older brother, Bills fan. Like we're all Bills fans. And then him, the lone Cowboys guy. Oops, dog barking. I let her in because of the storm. That's how she treats me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't get it. So it'd be nice to talk trash to him because he's been riding high all season long. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for
it's
sure. You've
it's,
been
it's
on
our
that.
season. Like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, I like this guy, right? Like I only do it to him. Like I don't have anything against the Cowboys or whatever, right? Like I could read the facts and be like, all right, well, this is how it's gonna play out. But for him, I give it to him hard. I give it to him
Yeah.
hard. Like I don't hear from you until you got a problem with my team and yours is doing
Mhm.
stuff. You know what I mean? And look, the week that we lost, I want to say that was the San Francisco week. So they lost 42-10. So I hit them up later on because I think it was a Sunday night game. So like
Yep.
we lost to Pittsburgh earlier in the day. And he was like, Pittsburgh ain't good, this, that, and the third. I was like, it's a rivalry game. Like I can go either way. And then the 49ers were going to destroy them. I think it was 42-10 or something like that. I
Yep.
was like, oh. He's like, I'm not proud of our performance. I'm like, you should not be. So I reveled in it. I was like, ooh, yes, I love it. I love it. But yeah,
That's
I don't
hilarious.
do anything against them. But you, how about you, man? How was your week?
Pretty good. I managed to watch two movies, and play the God of War DLC. So the God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. Um, Actually not like for free. That's actually pretty impressive. Like, it is a roguelike, so either you love them or you hate them. I'm just not good at roguelikes, but I like the premise, right? Like you go in, it's going to teach you some new skills, it's going to make you make some tough decisions, and it's going to expound on story. And that's what it does a really good job of. Ultimately, you're working your way up to the boss, and then each room you enter, you have to make a decision. Like, am I going to upgrade this? Am I going to upgrade that? Am I going to gamble on this? Or am I going to gamble on that? And you work your way up there, and then ultimately it fits into the story, right? Your failures are part of the narrative. Because then, I don't know if you've seen the trailer for it, but like, your boy, the world's smartest man, what's his name?
Not Monier. It's Denier, Manier. What is his name?
Yeah, you're close. You're close to
Yeah,
it. Mimir, yeah,
Manier.
Mimir. So
Yes, yes.
Mimir will, well, every time you wake up on the beach, because like you died in Valhalla, you resurrect on the beach. He has something, some quip to say, or it expounds on the story, right? The Furies are out there, so they're also talking to you about what it means to go through this trial. So it's actually pretty good. I think you'll enjoy it. I think my combat skills are kind of rusty, so I'm kind of relearning how to do combat. But you're
Mhm.
rewarded for mixing things up, right? So like I'm using all the different weapons. I use the shield a lot. Like I love Kratos putting his hands on people. It's like my favorite. Uh, and then you're just building your way up to it. And then some things you gain are permanent, and other things you gain are just for the run, for like that instance of you going through all the trials for combat. Um, but again, I'm not really good at it. Like, every time I was on a good run, I gambled too much, right? I was just like, oh well, because there's a part where you go through proving ground, and you're supposed to kill four targets. Um, and in doing so, the timer is going down. So as the timer comes down, the enemies get harder and harder. So some of the things that would have been just like, I could just punch through this guy, now you can't, right? Because you've gambled, you've been in the proving grounds a little too long. Because you can go, like, they want you to get four targets, but I got up to six. I don't know. How I did it, like I got lost in the maze and I ran up against, and I was like, where did this guy come from? I already got my four, and I killed him, and it was like five of four, and then I killed another one, it was like six of four. I was like, oh, I wonder how long I can do this. But there gets to a point where the easiest of enemies can kill you in one hit, and I was like, I gambled. I gambled. I lost all of it. All that progress I would have gotten, I lost it. And I was like, this is why I suck at roguelikes. I don't know when to say when. But you also get shortcuts, right? Like you can earn currency that will go away on your runs. You can also earn permanent currency, where you can buy keys to then take shortcuts through it. So you don't have to continuously go through all the tiers. You can kind of jump around as well. So it's fun. I think you actually will like it. But I don't know you to have played roguelikes before, and like my only instance is Hades, and it took me like 2 years to beat Hades. But it was a game based upon, like, that was the whole premise of the game, was a roguelike. Like, this is just more content through the lens of the roguelike gameplay. But I like it. Like, and they did their thing on these levels. Like, it's some of the prettiest stuff I've seen in the game. Um
Really?
and this is still a PS4 game. That's what blows my mind. Like, God of War Ragnarok is still a PS4 game because it plays on both. I can't wait for the next one. It's gonna be a PS5 exclusive. Like, that thing is gonna be off the chain. So super excited for whenever, like, 2 3 years from now, when that actually does come out. It's going to be amazing looking. Like, Sony games are killing it right now, on the visual department. Uh, so I've been playing that. I have not beat it yet. And then I watched two movies. So I watched Leave the World Behind, which we discussed offline. I kind of broke it down to you. Like it's not a Shannon joint. It's barely a me joint. Like I like I'm not spoiling anything. They give it away in the trailer. The cyber security aspect of it, cyber attack aspect of it. Like I think they did a pretty good job. Um, they don't land the plane. That's the thing. Like this genre of movie is getting to the point where you are choosing your own adventure. It's like we're gonna give you 60% of the content, and then at the end, have fun, figure it out. I don't want to figure it out every time. Like sometimes I want you to explain to me what happened to these people or this world or what's going on. Like fill in the gaps. Like uh, give me a mid-credit scene, something. Like you leave me out here to dry.
So let me ask you something. Do you think these people are doing that to receive less criticism? Let me ask you that.
No, I think they think it's art when they don't spoon feed you the all the answers. But
Hmm.
that's fun sometimes. But it's every time now. Every single time. Like none of these movies end with an ending, especially Netflix. Like, like they're not even getting like they got me a couple times early on, but they're not even getting me anymore. Like I go into these movies expecting not to get an answer, and then when I don't, I'm still disappointed. But I was like, maybe they'll give me something. They're like, no, you get nothing. But uh, again, like it has all-star cast, high production value. Uh, it's just they don't give you an ending. They
So
do, but like you determine what happened. Like that, I don't want that responsibility. I want you to do it. Finish the job.
I still want to stick with. I just don't think they want the criticism. Like, I think it's just gotten to a point where these critics nowadays they want to complain, right? Like they just
Yeah.
want to, like, unless it's the next Shakespeare thing that's just terrible that very few people are going to watch, they're not going to give it a good rating anyway, right? So I think it's just to the point where these directors are like, okay, well, let's let the viewers figure it out for themselves. Like they can't knock us for that, right? Like I can knock you for that because I think you're being lazy. Like tell me how it's going to end. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like what was the thought here, right? But this one you said was based off a book, right?
Yeah, I believe
Off the book.
it was a book first. Yeah. And they can they what's the word I'm looking for? Not consulted. Yeah, there it is. They consulted with the Obama President Obama and his administration to see like are we on with these aspects of the movie. And then he was like, like they didn't give all the answers that he gave, but basically they were like, yeah, that one's spot on, that one's spot on. Yeah, a little off right here. This is how we really go down. So I thought that premise was also cool to get it from, one of the world's most powerful individuals. He would know some of these answers. But then again, it's a fill in the blank at the end. I'm getting tired of that. It's just not for me anymore. So if I had read the book, I've been really pissed. Because that takes effort, right? Like you watch an hour long movie, it's just like, man, I go to bed or I can go do something else after that one. I read this book for a week, I'm gonna be very mad.
You like you had 400 pages to land this plane and you didn't
Yeah, you
you didn't
chose
do
not to.
it. Yeah.
You chose not to land this plane. And then the other movie was No One Will Save You. So it's a Hulu uh sci-fi thriller type film. Like it's pretty on the nose. Like you watch the trailer, you know what's about to go down. It's an alien abduction type movie. Um, I liked it. Here's why I liked it. I liked it A because it's PG-13, but it still had some really weird stuff. Like made me jump more than a few times. I cut all the lights off. I was watching it because I was like, I initially didn't know it was PG-13, and then when I noticed something happened in the movie, so I hit the intro or not the intro, the information button. I was like, that could have been gruesome, but it wasn't. So I hit the button and it said PG-13. I was like, okay, they couldn't take it that next step. Got it. Um, but very little dialogue. Like, and I said, like you peep it kind of early on, but no, but not some kind of weird artistic type way. It was like she doesn't say a lot. You could tell she's one of those people who's by themselves. Like so, like when I'm by myself, like when I lived in Turkey those 2 years, I had full blown like dialogue with 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 myself in the house, right? Just to hear a voice. because it's a remote tour where you live by yourself. Um, but she doesn't need to do that. So like she does say like maybe 6 or 7 words the entire movie, but most of it is her either panting or screaming or running, like because you really wouldn't say much if this situation was happening to you. But then when she goes into town, in the trailer, they don't speak to her because it's something that happened in the past. So like it'll say murmuring, like so you hear people's voices, but they're talking about her, they're not talking to her, like because something went down. It's a small town, and like she's a black sheep. Um, so when she does say something, it's a little bit more impactful. Like, because she does say something near probably like 2/3 through the movie, she does say something. And you're like, oh, she can talk. Like, because at one point I was like, maybe she can't speak, but she tries to get in the car and the car won't start. So that's the first time she says something. She screams like, no, 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 like she's mad. Like, why is this happening? But the aliens, I think they did a really good job. They're not alien for the sake of being alien. They're like that show I tried to put you on, uh Scavenger's Reign,
Yeah.
where they're very inventive with the aliens. Like they're doing some stuff that's just it just makes you feel uncomfortable. You're just like bodies aren't supposed to move like that. Like really freaky. And they don't do M. Night Shyamalan where they don't show it to you. Like they show you the alien probably 10 minutes in. Like they build up to it though, right? Like they show like here's it from a distance. Here's its feet, which is really weird. Here's its legs, and then they build into like here it is. But they all don't look like this. So as she's going through the movie, they come in different body types, right? Some of them are tall, some of them are short. They're all weird. All of them. Are you like, it makes my skin crawl. So uh pretty good. But then the ending was, and I should have known it was going to happen because I saw somebody in the review said bold ending. I was just like, what does that mean? And you get to the end, and they land the plane, but it doesn't make any sense. You're like, what is happening? Like, why? Because it's one of those things where you're just like, is it really happening? Is it in their mind? They answer that, but the answer they give you is kind of like, what was the point? Like, what did I just go through this hour or something with, which was a fun ride, right? Like again, jump scares. It's very CG is very pretty. They do a lot of cool things with the alien technology. Um, but then at the end, it's just kind of like, so what happened? Why did it happen? Or why is it happening? Like, I'll talk to you about it offline.
See, that's not my thing, man. I don't. Yeah, no. Give it to
Yeah,
me. Give it to like tell me. Like I'm here to be entertained, right? Like I
yeah,
give me an entertainment aspect of it. Don't sit because here's the thing. Once I turn it off, I'm not gonna sit here and think about it afterwards and be like, well, maybe it was this, maybe it was this, maybe it was this. Like, no, I'm on to the next thing. You know what I mean?
right, right. And I think that's what they're going for this one. This one, it wasn't like Leave the World Behind, Choose Your Own Adventure type situation. It was like let me try to dig a little bit deeper into it. Like they gave me an ending, and I have to figure out like why did it end like that? But I don't feel like that. Like sometimes I just want you to give me the answer. And that the movies just haven't been doing that recently. Like a lot of them have been of like either they're trying to be too deep or they're not trying to spoon feed you. Like every now and then, no, I need you to give me all the answers. So, but again, not bad. And then like I said, I played the God of War. I'm back in Breath of the Wild. I'm trying to mainline the story. Like I want to finish this game before the end of the year. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Is
Every
it Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom?
Tears of the Kingdom, sorry.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
every time I start playing it, I get distracted every single time. It's like, ooh, something shiny. I just like, but now I'm so far off the beaten path. It's just like, I'm never gonna finish this game. I have like 130 hours into it. I'm never gonna finish
I'm,
it.
I'm there with you, man. Like Horizon, I know I'm at the point. They want to meet at a campfire so they can go to this ship. I'm like, I know I'm at the end here. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
just I haven't brought myself to do it. And I think with me, the thing was because like when I played the first Horizon, it was late, like it was free on PS Plus or whatever it is, not
Hmm.
PSN or whatever it is, PS Plus. So it was like a year before this other one, the new one released, right? Probably not even that long actually. So I just have like 300 hours of Horizon that I have played to where I'm like, maybe I just am burned
Right.
out on it. You know what I mean? I
Maybe,
don't.
yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I gotta get into it and do it right. Like I can't sit here and not not finish it after putting all that time in. It
Right.
is a good game. It really is. I don't know.
I'm gonna jump on it, like, cause I didn't finish the first one, but I did watch the YouTube. Like, here's the ending. Here's all the stuff means, so I can jump into the second one. I downloaded it, but I just never jumped into it. I just like the meme I sent you.
I was gonna say the video
Yeah,
you sent was dead on.
yeah. Like I need to make this. I gotta save some space for Spider-Man. I gotta delete you. But I'll be back. I will download you again. Because it's super pretty, and I know I'm gonna enjoy the mechanics. I don't know. Like it's not high on my priority list, but I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. I will soon. Eventually, I will finish it. And then there is there was another movie I was gonna watch. Oh no, so not a movie. Well, kind of the Chris Rock and Kevin Hart. So I started it, but I started it super late, and it goes through a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and they're kind of building up to the tour before they actually get to the comedy. I got right there. I got to the part where I think Chris Rock is the first on. I think because I started getting super tired, so I was like, oh, I don't want to fall asleep during this. So I cut it off. So it's not bad. Like it's just that it's one of those things where they have to build up to the show because again, it's only headliners, right? It's only going to be those two. So they're kind of like, here's why we did the tour. And, you know, they show some of the interactions between him and Chris and kind of go through the backstory of why they're doing the tour. All good stuff. It's just like I started at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. That was a mistake. Like that should have been like it's 8 o'clock at the latest. So I probably will watch that tonight.
Headliners Only is the name of it, right, or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I saw the trailer, and it's the two of them sitting there talking, just like, hey, how it came about. Like they just talked on the phone or whatever, and it was like Kevin made the suggestion, hey, let's do a show together, and he was just like, who is this guy? It's Chris saying, who is this guy, right? Like usually comedians are in competition, right? It's funny, it's in the trailer, so I'm not giving it away, but even Chris Rock, it was kind of funny to hear him say this. He was like, I have to make sure I plan around Kevin. He's like, I
Yeah.
don't want to be doing stuff the same time Kevin is doing stuff because he said I don't want to get stomped in the ground or something like that. He was just like, he was implying that Kevin would get more attention than he would. And I was like, you've been in the game for how long? Not that Chris Rock, not that Kevin Hart's not funny, but it's like Chris Rock. It seems like you guys could operate in the same space, right? But
Right. And yeah, they go into they do go into that a little bit more detail. Because he makes another quip where he's like even Jay-Z checks in with Drake before he
yes,
drops
that's
something
what he
new.
said.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to run into each other. But yeah, no, and then he also asked him like, you know, when I released this, what were you doing? Kevin Hart was like, I had a regular job. Like I wasn't I wasn't even a comedian yet. He was like, this guy. But it's true, like he did. It's a meteoric rise, right? Like because Kevin Hart's been doing it for a while. And they show some of his old stuff, like they show like Comedy Sellers stuff, like from when they're both younger, and then they kind of go through like their quickly go through their backstories because we already know their backstory pretty well if you're checking in with comedy. But it kind of just shows similarities and the differences between how they both got to where they're at. So I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But again, it's not something you start at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. So that's a mistake. Um, But yeah, and then I pushed you the trailer for the new Beverly Hills Cop. Like, so I'm kind of interested. Like,
That looked good, and I don't
yeah,
know. Like, because you think about it, right? Like, how is he still a cop? Like, yo, you were already a detective for like 10 years, you know what I mean, in
right,
Detroit when this started in the 80s. Like,
right.
you are not still a police officer,
It's
right?
probably like what's it called? It's probably like Maverick. Like you ever watch the new Top Gun movie? They're
Yeah,
like, you should be a
he was still a
colonel.
clerk. No, they say
Yeah,
an admiral is what they said. You should be an admiral.
you should be an admiral,
It's like,
but you
yeah.
just keep messing up. Like you just can't help yourself.
Yeah, but you're not going to be a cop for 40 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like here's the thing, like when he did the first Top Gun, he was a not a lieutenant. Lieutenant's a captain in the Navy. He was a what do you call him?
Ensign?
Bar ensign. Yeah. He wasn't a captain, he wasn't a lieutenant yet. He didn't have two bars. He had the one. So he was very early in his
Yeah.
career. So that's more believable that he's a colonel at 32 years or whatever it is, right? Or captain, excuse me, because he's Navy. This one, like Axel was already on the police force for close to 10 years, I want to say, like back in the
Yeah.
80s, right? Like we 40 years later, you've been on the police force for 50 years. Come on, man. Like, no. You know what I mean? Like
It's really been that long. That's crazy.
it was it
That
was
is crazy.
so
Yeah.
it was late 80s, right? Or mid
Yep.
80s.
It
Mid
was like
80s.
mid 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. And even if it's not a one for one in the years for the time, right? Like it's been 40 years since he's
Yeah.
played.
And they look, they definitely look their age. Well, I
Yes.
mean, like Eddie Murphy, yeah, he's rich. He won't age. But they
Yeah.
show the side by sides. I don't know if you've seen the picture where they show them in different because they're always in the car together. They always had that scene in the car where they had the dialogue. They showed the first movie, the second movie, and now this one in the trailer, and you can see them age up. It was like, yo, that's crazy. If I find it again, I'll push it to you. I'll send it to you. But yeah, like to see them when they were in their well, the older guy was always old, but the younger cop who was in the
Judge
yeah,
Reinhold, the younger one of the two, yeah.
like see him in his 20s and now he's probably like what in his
He's got to be
50s,
he's got to be 60.
60s. Yeah, you definitely see the age on him. So that's pretty cool that we had the ability to resurrect these properties and hopefully it's good. That's what I do. I just hope they don't bring it back and make it whack.
Yeah, the trailer looked good. Like I like when you sent it and I looked at the preview, I looked at the thumbnail, I was like, this ain't gonna be good. I was thinking to myself, like, because I was like, this can't be, it's gonna be like coming to America, right? Like I was
Right.
thrilled with that. But I watched the trailer, I was like, yo. Yo.
Yeah, yeah. Everything's coming back. I showed you. I had to double check to make sure that
Yeah.
Demolition Man 2 thing was real. I was like, this got to be a meme. Like, no, it's coming back somehow.
But how does it happen? He was frozen and his head kicked off. Like
They put it back on. They're like, he's still frozen. Just push it back, push it back in.
let it thaw and then good. It'll reattach itself. Like
Right, right.
no, man. No, because even after he kicked his head off, didn't his body explode? No, I think hold on.
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
it's a
thinking
clone. They
about
cloned him. They
it.
cloned him.
It'd have to
That
be.
has to be the explanation.
Yeah, it'd have to be. Or you just do multiverse thing, right? That fixes everything. It's the
Yeah,
multiverse.
that's true. Very true.
So I'm curious if they can bring Sandra Bullock back too, right? So
They have to.
that's another one that doesn't age. She's another one that
Yeah,
doesn't. She is
that's true.
she is a vampire that is drinking people's blood. Like I'm sure of it. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I'd be curious because the thing you sent Slide he co-signed it. He was like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's a
Yep.
thing. I'm like, what? Come on. So
Everything old is new again. I want another Running Man. I need you to bring all these things, all these properties back. Yeah, it's cool to see all things come back. I just hope they do a good job, right? Like you don't want to don't resurrect the series, make it trash. So we'll see what the future holds. Because I think there's another Aliens movie coming out that's set between like Alien One and Alien Two or something like that. So it's supposed to be like not an offshoot. It won't be like a Prometheus. It'll be like an actual Aliens movie. So
yeah, that's what I thought you were saying. Was it be like Prometheus and the other one? That's what I figured you were talking about. But
no, this one's supposed to be more in canon. So
so how are they going to do that? So it won't be Ripley then, because Ripley was in after at the end of the first one, she was in the ship, right?
yes.
So it can't be her because she didn't come out of stasis or whatever until the second one. So who is going to be the main character between the two? I'm curious, right? Like
I don't know. I would have to. Like, I haven't done any research into it at all. I'm just like, that's interesting, because those are my favorite. Like the Aliens were too. Like everything else was kind of it was okay, but the only stinker was Prometheus. Only because they didn't answer nothing. Like it's like let's give you new character set, right? The architects, and then not really break it down. You're like, what? Why are they doing this? Like, why are they making cultures, right? Like, why are they like seeding planets? Like, no, we're not going to explain that. We're just gonna uh, rip the android's head off or whatever. Like, didn't he like crush it or rip his head off or something like that?
in which one?
Prometheus. Remember, he was trying to ask the architect questions, and instead of answering the questions, he pretty much just yanked his head off because it was like abomination to him.
I don't remember that. Prometheus was not good to me.
It wasn't.
I thought, was it the okay? Because you're talking about Michael Fassbender, the android, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
okay, I thought he made it through that movie. Maybe not. It was not good to me. I
So
was not
yeah,
paying.
until he got the kid decapitated. Yes, he did. But I'm
So
pretty sure he ripped his head
so
off.
another one of those came down to that planet then? Another one of those creators or whatever?
They woke one up. He was in stasis,
Okay.
and he was going to ask him a bunch of questions. But they said the script was different anyway. Like the they made some rewrites, and that's why it wrapped up weird like that.
Yeah, I remember see, and that's crazy because I remember the lady getting crushed by the ship or whatever, right? Like she was trying to run away. She
Yeah.
died. I'd have to watch it again. I don't remember him. I thought he made it. I
Mm,
thought he made it. So what did the
no.
creator what did the creator or whatever the thing do at the end if they woke it up?
Uh,
No.
yeah. So the one guy was asking questions, and then he didn't like the android, so he killed it. And then I think he died though. I don't remember that part. I don't remember how they killed him because it's all supposed to wrap up to being the alien on the ship. Remember, because it was aliens. I want to say they found the alien sitting in the chair of the ship or whatever, but they didn't want it. Like he didn't fall in the right spot or whatever. Like I don't know. It was trash in comparison
It
to
ended up
Alien
fighting an,
Aliens.
it ended up fighting an alien in the ship at the end. Is that what happened? The creator was
Yeah.
fighting one of the aliens. I do okay. It's somewhat coming back to me now. Yeah. Okay. Huh. All right. I don't know, man. That movie was just not good. I watched it and I even think like I let it play while I got up and did some other stuff. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. So they hurry we get this over with.
yeah. So
But yeah, I don't know. Like that franchise has really good legs, so hopefully they can bring it back to being good again. But we'll see.
they did another Prometheus movie, didn't they? It wasn't called Prometheus, but there was another one based off the same type of thing, wasn't there?
I
Another
don't
one
know.
in the Aliens franchise. It was kind of the same thing, like a Prometheus. It might not have been a prequel or whatever like that, but
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully they do a better job with this one. I forget how we got there. Oh, because we're talking about the Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They need to do another trading places. Bring that one back. I think both of those guys are dead now though, right? The two
So the Mortimer
billionaires.
brothers, the
Yeah, the
Mortimer
Mortimer brothers. I
brothers,
think they're yeah, they died, right?
yeah, but I mean, you didn't even get to see them come back to prominence because remember in Coming to America, he left them the money, right?
Right.
So you never even saw them come back to prominence. Like, what did they do with it, right? Like, did they just make another bet and lose it all again, right? Like, I don't know, right?
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Because they're knocking on the window. Thank you. We'll do lunch. That's what they said. Like these guys are homeless. Like, what are you talking about? But
Right.
yeah, I don't know how I don't who would be who would who would be the villains in that one, right? Like if you do it again, because they're living on an island off the money they made from the stock market. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Jamie Lee Curtis still there too. Like what's going on, man? Like
Right. Right. Can't bring everything back, but
yeah,
be interesting. But yeah, I think it pretty much wraps up for this episode. So I'm gonna finish Blue Eye Samurai. Is my plan. Like, because I binged it and then I had to cool down for a minute. So I'm gonna go back and probably finish it up, and then hopefully I'll beat God of War Ragnarok Valhalla before the next episode. But there's no way I'm beating Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. That ain't happening. So, but and I think that one, because what day will that be on? Oh no, that might be Christmas Eve. Like we're doing this in real time. Oh, that is Christmas Eve. So I don't know. Uh, we'll discuss if that's going to be an episode or not, or if we go right in the holiday break. Um, but yeah, definitely continue to tune in. Like so, if we don't do an episode, then there'll be a bunch of throwbacks. But regardless, definitely continue to tune in, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff that I always forget to say. Um, Tune in on Monday, Tuesday, our topics, Wednesday discussion. Thursdays, Ask Us History or Throwback. This week would have been a throwback. And then Fridays, everything else, movies, books, games, TV shows, all that good stuff. So hit us up at the website, go by our name. Give me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. You can find me on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. Stay safe, stay secure.